things.
Using other people's ID cards.
Oh!
Yeah.
And you know you're not giving it back. That is also stealing. Let's say, don't try and justify your sin. Don't justify your sin, okay?
The time we like to use God as the excuse. God, if that's actually the case, your trust isn't in God because you're limiting him. You're saying that actually God, I mean, it can only happen if I do this little lie. And it's like, no, it can only happen if I bump the train.
Areas, especially in terms of, we have our own standards of what Christianity is. Like, some people think it's okay to go clubbing. Some people think it's okay to sleep around. Some people think, and it's just like, so people looking on the outside are just like, you're all confused. Like, you're radical. You're like proper Christian. Like, why do we have radical Christian? Why do we have, sold out Christian? Why aren't we just Christians? Like, okay, hi guys, welcome back.
Okay, wait, let me get my laugh out.
Sorry, she started. Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danielle. I'm here with my amazing friend Jojo. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name's Jojo.
Yeah, so if you have been a lovely subscriber for a very long time, you would probably remember Jojo and back in our university experience video. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it now because I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But yeah, so I had to grab her really quickly to do this video, and it's all about integrity. And literally, we're doing this video. Why are we doing this video?
Okay, so we're doing this video because integrity is so important as a Christian, but a lot of us just like, there are so many little things that we just kind of ignore and we think, oh, it's not that deep, it's not that important. But then like when it comes to integrity, it's such a big issue because God has integrity, so we need to walk like him.
The funny thing about this situation is that we're not coming from like a judgmental standpoint. We're literally coming from more of a standpoint where we're like really just deeping our own lives and deeping our own kind of, the things that we kind of let slide and like, oh yeah, it's not really that deep. And it's like, but it's actually against the law, but it's actually wrong, but it's actually not living to the standard of Christ. And it's so important, just as Jojo said, we are Christians, meaning that we look to Christ, we want to be like Christ, but yet we kind of justify certain things and be like, yeah, but that's not that deep, that's not that deep. But we're going to address it. So back in the day, people just bumping trains, train, like, yeah, it's minor, I know I can get away with this, so... and I think it's kind of that getting away from something. What else have I seen? Speeding, kind of thing. What else?
I'm just thinking of LimeWire.
Yeah, say it, LimeWire.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, LimeWire.
Downloading music illegally, Downloading music illegally, films illegally, all of that stuff.
This one is mad. Guys, but it's actually illegal. And it's like, it's really weird because it's like, everyone does it. Everyone downloads, like, everyone watches music on like
TV.
Oh my gosh, that's another one. Yeah. So like when you're like pretending to be a student and you're not. Like what else? All these things.
Using other people's ID cards.
Oh!
Yeah!
Oh,
I was thinking
that was me.
Rail cards, using my sister's rail cards.
I used to use my Olivia's ID card to get into the library. That was I used to justify that and be like, I needed to go to the library. And my uni library back then was fulled out. So I'd have to go to her uni, which was literally next door, to go to study library. So I'm thinking, I have to do what I have to do to get my grades, right? So like, these are literally like my thought process, guys. And I'm sure you're probably listening thinking, yeah, calm, like it's calm. And we've had messages, people like, yeah, can I use your address for insurance?
Yeah.
Can I use your address for... I remember when we were growing up in school. Who remembers that? When we were growing up in school and you wanted to get in the catchment area of like your school. And so like your parents would now be saying, you live in other countries. And they're saying their child is 1 year.
Yeah, different ages, all of that, because they have to get into the school, they need the education, and it's just like... Yeah,
we're justifying almost like we're justifying the sin because of what we need. And even if the need is good, doesn't mean that the sin's right. It doesn't mean that it needs to be justified. And we're saying these things, these are all different things that we've kind of seen, but, it's not integrity. And if we define integrity, what would we define it as?
So integrity is like what you do when no one's around and who you are when no one's looking.
Well, actually, no. Why do people actually struggle with it? Why do people struggle with it? Because I remember when we had this Bible study of integrity, and I was just thinking, oh, I'm integral. Like, I'm the same. Like, everyone knows me. I'm very real. I say it as it is. Yeah. But I realised, no, actually, there's certain things that I would make myself to be like, I would never do that because I'm a Christian, but then I'm still doing it. So why is it so hard?
I think sometimes it's like actually compromise. So sometimes when you want to be like, to your Christian friends or to like those who know you, like maybe social media or whatever, you're one type of way. But then when you're in a crowd of other people and there's like loads of other people and they're all doing one sort of thing,
you can get away with it. Does not mean it's right. It's the same.
And it seems like nothing. It seems so minor. It's like, yeah, but you know, like whatever. It seems so minor. That's one that's the hardest. Pray.
No,
like,
you're right. Yeah.
So.
And I think another reason as well why people do it is just simply because they know they can get away with it. Like they know they can get away with it. Another reason why is that they just don't think it's that deep. And I think it's more of who are you looking to and who do you say you are. If you're not trying to follow Christ and you're not trying to seek after God and you're not trying to seek after righteousness, then do you. Like this video is not for you. This video is for the people that say I'm actually Christian. This video is for the people that say I'm trying to seek after righteousness. Then it's like, guys, we need to check ourselves. Illegal. Speeding is illegal. I used to speed recklessly, like speed, because I'm just thinking I'm on a mission, I'm going somewhere. And you know when you're on the motorway and you think you know when the sign changes every like few seconds, I just had this theory in my head that it's like the camera will never be able to match up to the speed that's changing. So I'm sure it's still just national speed limit. So I would literally just go straight. And I got a letter saying, over, so you're going to court. My gosh. And guys, I'm sure some of you are watching, you may know people that are going to court. This is a great opportunity to lie, isn't it? It's a great opportunity to be like, oh, I was just on the way to go see my mum, she's in hospital, and that's why I was just on the way to a church conference and I needed to see Jesus and that's why I was speeding. Like, you could just literally gas it and like, it was so easy to do, but I knew I shouldn't have. I knew I should not have done it. I knew I shouldn't have lied, and I thank God for his strength. I thank God for his wisdom that I didn't, and I just said the truth. I just said, listen, I'm sorry, it was wrong. I know it was wrong. I should not have driven that speed. And they were like, and then basically I did a plead guilty, and then they said that I don't have to go to court. So I was like, hooray. 3 days later, they said, we were gonna ban you, but we want you to come to court and defend yourself, whether you're gonna get points or the thing. And if anyone knows, if you go 30 miles per hour over a speed limit, you're going to be banned, disqualified. 30 miles or over, you're gonna be disqualified. And they sent me this letter and I was worried, guys. And imagine, this is another day that I have to travel further out. It also happened to be on a work residential day. And I was like, what? I can't go to my work residential. And then I looked at the location, deep it. It was the same location as my work residential. It was 30 minutes from the villa that I was staying for my work residential. And guys, this is a completely different town in the UK. How can it happen to be 1, on a different day, 2, on the day of my work residential, and 3, in the city of where my work residential was? So I knew God's hand was in this. Got this letter, and I was just like, okay, God, you're doing something here. They also said that if you leave this court and we find you to take your car, like you can't drive, like from that moment, you're banned. Meaning, I would drive there and I can't drive back. But thank God that it was on the same day as my work residential. I was able to get my colleague, insure her on my car, and then go. And what happened? I went in there and they said, this is what you did on this date. You will be banned. You have a few seconds to basically explain to us why you sped. And I was able to explain to them that, listen, there was no reason. I felt so bad. I explained how much I learned from the speeding course that I went on previously, because guys, I can't lie. When I said I was speed queen, as in I was racking them 3 points still. Yeah. And so, so I went on a speeding course, but after I got that letter about going to court, and I learned so much from the speeding course, so much. And I said how much my driving modified. The guy, when I tell you that judge was like an angel, I really believe he was a Christian. Like the light that was shining upon him, he was looking into my soul when I was speaking. I was like, I am so sorry. And he was just nodding, and he was just like smiling. And then they were like, okay, they were just like, do you know what? So they went out, they even went out, they left the courtroom. They were like, we need to go and confer. They went out, they left the courtroom to go and speak about it because they couldn't decide. Wow. Came back into the courtroom and was like, okay, basically, your remorse, we can see that this is real. We can see your genuine remorse. We don't want to ban you. We want to give you that chance that you're modified driving. We want to give you that chance and not ban you. So you're not getting banned. You're going to get 6 points. Then they said, also, we're giving you discount for the fine that you're going to have to pay because we can see that your driving's been modified and we can just see your genuine remorse. So guys, imagine, this is a thing that by law, you're actually meant to be banned. Mm-hmm. And because of remorse, because of honesty, because of integrity, because I didn't choose the easy route, which is, damn, I'm going to be in trouble, think of a quick lie. Loads of people were coming to me like, oh, I get out of them court fines easily. I just say that I was on my way. No, but I was just truthful, and look at that. What happened? Nothing. No one can say nothing because I told the truth. Do you know what I mean? I was integral, and God's mercy and grace covered me. But imagine if I'm there lying. Imagine if I twisted. How's God's grace and mercy meant to cover that? Like, when you lie once, you just have to lie again for the lie. Sometimes you forget the lie. Has that happened to you?
That was my whole life. Like, before Christ, like, that was my whole life. I was just lying. I forgot all my lies, yeah.
Just lie one lie, can't even remember the next lie. It's like, but the honesty and integrity wins.
So yeah, like, it's so important to walk in integrity because I think a lot of us don't realise, like, we kind of forget about the main reason sometimes that we are here, and it is to imitate God. Like the Bible says, be imitators of Christ. So to imitate him, in order to imitate him, we have to remember that God is a God who is integral. God is a God who, he doesn't change his word, he doesn't change his ideas, he doesn't change his mind. Like once he said a thing and once he's set on his ways, he'll be quick to perform it. Like just in all the covenants that he keeps and in the ways that God, you know, what the word says about God's character and everything, he's just always the same. And whether it's to the Israelites, whether it's to the Gentiles, like he's still the same God. He's still loving, he's still caring, he's still, you know, he's still just, he's still righteous. And I think sometimes we forget that we have to be the same in everything we do. And so if we know that God is not a God who steals, or God is not a God who is a bit dishonest and all of these things, then we have to ensure that we're constant in all of it. It can't just be a thing where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to lie to my dad, but then I don't mind lying to like the train guy that comes up and asks me for my ticket and I say, yeah, this is me. Like you have to decide to be honest in all your ways, or you have to decide to be like, whatever character you're kind of living in or whatever character you're walking in, you have to decide to be that in all your ways. Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm even reminded of what we spoke about earlier in terms of, I feel like this whole thing, if we're not integral, guys, we're actually spoiling our witness as Christians. Because it's just like what Anna said in terms of like, us Christians, the reason why Christians, like, we're failing in certain areas, especially in terms of, we have our own standards of what Christianity is. Like, some people think it's okay to go clubbing. Some people think it's okay to sleep around. Some people think it's okay to drink. And some people think stay away from drinking. Some people think, and it's just like, so people looking on the outside are just like, you're all confused. Like, you don't even, like, you're radical. You're, like, proper Christian. Like, we're all just like, why do we have radical Christian? Why do we have, sold out Christian? Why aren't we just Christians? Like, the whole definition is messed up. Our whole standard's messed up. And I feel like, that's why, like, you know when it speaks about the Bible, like, all sin is sin. And we're all just like, we're making it look like, oh yeah, but it was just a lie when you don't want to go to work. Oh yeah, I'm just kind of ill. And then like, you know when you're like, I'm ill. And an hour later, like, your stomach acts a bit funny. You're like, oh yeah.
Literally.
And you're like, see, I am ill.
Oh yeah, you feel like something in your side, your tummy, like, oh yeah, I'm ill.
So it's like, no, mate, like, you lied and then it just happened. It's not like you lied and then it's now the truth. Like, it's not the truth because you know your heart. You need to search your heart. You need to search your intentions back to, your heart is what determines whether it's a lie or not. Do you know what I mean? It's what your heart is saying. So yeah, I think it's so important to just really make sure that we need to have a true standard, which is Christ. We need to go back to that word, and we need to stop saying, oh yeah, but it's not that deep. Like, we're not gonna get caught. Oh yeah, it's not that deep because it's so minor. No one's gonna get hurt though. No one's gonna get hurt. It's not about what gets hurt. It's about being law-abiding citizens. It's about give to Caesar what is due to Caesar. Like, it says it in his word. It's about, what would Christ do in, like, for people to see that we're set apart? We can't be doing one higgy hagger. Like, and guys, as we're speaking to you, we're speaking to ourselves as well. Like, we're keeping ourselves in check as well. Tomorrow I may do something short and be like, oh my gosh, but I need to have that constant conviction of the Holy Spirit to retrack my steps. And these are things that we need to make sure that we're discussing as the bride of Christ, as Christians, because we like to justify too much, and it's wrong. And it's wrong. And if we really are set apart, if we really want to be, you know, those people that God is looking out for, like my sons and daughters, then we cannot live the same way. Like, we cannot live the same way. Oh, it's calm if I just do this. Like, no. And some people, they like to justify, the bump in the train one really annoys me. Like, yeah, but I have no money. And it's like,
how could I get to church without bumping the train? Like, how could I do it? God knows me. God knows me. Like,
my gosh, if you actually really cared about going to church, you know that if you actually pray to God about it and say, God, move, like, I want to go to your church, you will be surprised what will wake up in the morning. You'll be surprised what will come into your account.
Or even if you just spoke to someone and said, yeah, like, I want to get to church. Like, is there any way you could help me out with the £2.50? Done, literally.
That's, like, literally, even with Transcend, I always tell people, if it's a money thing, message. If it's a money thing, message. Because I'm not expecting you to be bumping train. Like, don't try and use that as an excuse. Enough is enough. Like, come on, guys. You know what you're doing now, and it's just wrong.
And I think that's actually one thing that we do as well. Like, a lot of the time we like to use God as the excuse. And we say, yeah, we're kind of trying to do this for God, you know, or we're doing, you know, like if God's called you to be one businessman and you're like, yeah, you know, I'm going to just have to lie quickly, just a little lie here. But if I don't, then I won't get the chance to, do you know what I mean? And it's very easy to do that. Like, so easy to do that. And I think that's our problem though, because our trust isn't actually truly in God. If that's actually the case, your trust isn't in God because you're limiting him. You're saying that actually God, I mean, it can only happen if I do this little lie. And it's like, no, it can only happen if I bump the train. Yeah. Like, I can only get to church and hear your word if I bump the train. It's like, no, God is limitless. Yeah. Like, God can do so many things. You're limiting God to it, literally. You're limiting God to it. And it's like, really and truly, do you actually trust in him? Like,
that is the words. That is actually the question.
Do you actually trust in him?
That is the question. Like, and guys, we have to keep each other accountable. Like, honestly, like, if I'm doing something crinkle, you need to be like, Danny, which she does anyway, but you need to be like, because sometimes I'll message you like, do you think it's okay? And I'm like, well, you're like, technically that's lying. And I'll be like, okay, fine. But like, so you need to keep yourself in check. Like, this is not to condemn. And I think it's very, very important to understand that from this video, you're not meant to go back and be like, I'm such a sinner. No. From this video, you're meant to be like, rah, I need to fix up. God help me. Holy Spirit help me. Okay? I know I need to change. Let me address these things that are evidently before me that I know I'm not being integral about. And God, give me the strength. And, you know, keep your friends accountable. If I'm doing this, check this. And also, I think this can also show you if your friends are correct or not. I think this whole integral test will show if your friends are correct or not. If your friends are encouraging that behaviour, then listen. You already know. I don't need to say anything. You need friends that will be like, we're not here to judge. You're not telling me, Danny, that's a lie, to judge me. You're saying it like, you're keeping me in check so that I can now deep it. If I choose to lie, that's on me. She's just going to be like, okay, that's your own. At least I told you. Do you know what I mean? And it's you and God that will deal with that situation. And you know yourself. So I think it's one of those things where, guys, we need to strive for holiness in all areas of our life. And not just what seems like the biggest deal. Yeah. You know, the biggest thing. But just be real.
I actually think that the reason it needs to be spoken about is because it's like when you have a conviction, you have that still quiet voice, and you just feel like, I shouldn't be doing this. But that is when people tell you that you're being extra. So that's what it needs to be spoken about. Like, we need to actually like be able to be like, I need to be like, Danielle, like, is this extra or da-da-da? And you'll actually be like, no, Jojo, like, you're not being extra. If you do that, it's lying. Or if you do that, you're not being honest. And it's like, it's true. We have these convictions, but then we actually just feel like we're being extra and religious or legalistic. And it's like, no, like,
we're just trying to be like Christ. That's it. And yes, we may flop. Yes, we may fail. Yes, one day it's not going to go as great. Like, honestly, that's what we're saying. But we're just trying to say, don't try and justify your sin. Just try. Do you know what I mean? Just don't justify your sin.
Literally.
No, honestly, it's true
it's
though.
True. So, oh God, guys, it's okay.
Is it okay to do this? And then you tell them it's not okay, and they're like, oh, and they're like really upset, and it's like, why'd you ask me then? You clearly wanted to do it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the real thing. Like, and I think that's what people should want in friends, and that's what people should want around them. So check your friends. This is also integrity. Check your friends as well. But yeah, that's literally it from us. Anything else that you would like to say to someone who someone was watching this and they're in this and they're just like, oh, like, I don't really know, like, how do I start this whole integrity thing? What would you say?
Submit all your ways to the Lord. Literally every single thing you do, like, just submit it to God. If you feel like, oh, like, if something just sort of stops you there, like when you're about to do something, and if you're in a moment where you just don't know what to do, or you don't know whether it's too much or too little, you don't know why you feel a certain way, then just ask somebody. But somebody that you know is knowledgeable in maybe their word. Or somebody that you know, like, won't just be like, yeah, you know, I think it's cool because technically it's not really stealing. Because, you know, like, ask somebody that you know that might actually, ask somebody that you know won't just speak to you to please you. Yeah. Or somebody that's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and guys, also just to add on that note, like, That's another one. Like, just the whole borrowing something and you know you're not giving it back. That is also stealing. Okay? Like, honestly, it's stealing.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it to you, and I've fully done that before. I have borrowed something, and in my head I know, I like this. I'm going to keep it. And that is stealing, okay? So, not integrity.
So easy just to normalize it.
So easy.
So easy.
Guys, it's messed up. It's messed up, okay? Comment below if you have been really touched by this video and you identify with it and you're going to do something about it, okay? We're going to all keep each other accountable and help each other and pray, okay? And most importantly, yeah, just keep yourself in check. Like, it's absolutely fine. You know, we're always going to fall short with glory, but let's strive for holiness. Let's seek that. And, you know, just, you know, we're trying to live for him. So let's just focus on that. So, yeah, thanks so much for watching the video, guys. Please do like,
share,
comment,
subscribe.
Come on. And
press the bell, you know,
yes,
to get the little notifications.
Well done. Notification bell. Please do press it. And, yeah, have a lovely weekend. Take care. Bye.